guys, welcome back to knr.motorsports. I'm Ken and we have another exotic car DIY where we're going to be fixing the Ferrari. You may have seen in my last video, I actually broke it. Likely because I posted a video saying that, hey, it hasn't broken in 7 years, and go figure. And it looks like it actually happened when I was downshifting a second, just pulled it back and it snapped right off. I was able to limp the car home. It was rather interesting, but luckily I had my friend there. We were able to try to get it into gears just at the actual gate level. Kind of an odd break. That doesn't happen too often, but that's kind of what this channel is about. Can you own one of these without being reliant on the dealership? Can you fix it yourself? Anyway, so we're going to do two things in this video. One, we're going to see if we can fix the shifter, and two, I'm going to show you how to actually rebuild the shifter box. Ferrari kind of put some grease in there, and over 20 years that grease typically turns to glue. So if you notice your shifter is not smooth anymore or it's not returning to center, this is a good video to watch. So to fix this, we basically have three options. One, we can buy a brand new shifter from Ferrari. They're rated at about $1,000. Two, the preferred way is we're going to try to find a used one off of eBay or from a dismantler. The only problem is some idiot posted a video about how to convert your F1 car to a 6-speed, and so now everybody's bought all those shifters up. So maybe to get back on the road, we might try welding it. We're going to see what happens. But anyway, let's go and get it on the lift and get started. Alright, so we're back underneath that familiar spot, the bottom of the Ferrari. We're just going to take off the panel so we can access the shifter. So on these big panels, you don't have to take off the full front one. If you just find out, or I found out if you just loosen it just a little bit, you can get the whole panel. Leave one of the center ones for last, and that'll let you be able to get it without it hanging down. Because if you have it hang off one of the front or corners, it's going to break it. So. All right, now with all the bottom paneling out, you can see that we've exposed our shifter area. The shifter rod runs back through here, and in theory, we can do all this without having to readjust the shifter, because we're not going to take it off from the adjustment, and I'm going to take it off from this connection in here. So a couple 10 millimeters and then this bolt, and we should have it right out. Okay, so now we've undone our shifter rod, so it's just the 10 millimeter bolts. These bolts have all been removed. Kind of wiggle it by the shifter rod and lower it out. That's it. So you can see here's our culprit, the broken shifter rod, so let's get to work on it. Alright, so now that we've got our shifter here on the table, I've disassembled this once before because there's a couple springs in here that are used for the centering device, and mine previously was locked up. I guess over years, whatever grease Ferrari used originally just kind of turns into glue, so I've rebuilt this before. So let's go ahead and get the bottom cover off. Alright, and that exposes your shifter. So there's actually a couple bushings in here that get replaced too. You see mine are chock full of new grease, and those are all related to just the shifting process. So if your shifter's ever loose, you might want to look at replacing these. So anyway, let's go ahead and get this more taken apart. So we're going to start by getting the rubber boot the rest of the way off, which means taking off these two 10 millimeter bolts. And there we go. Whatever. It's out. Okay, now the rubber part should be able to just slide off. Set that aside. Okay, so we got that off. Next thing, we need to undo the snap ring, and inside of here is a spring. Okay, so you can see we go snap ring, cover, got a spring. There's a little cup here. This is what get stuck with that old Ferrari grease. There's a little hole in the middle. Usually you can pry it up. There we go. So if you're curious how this works, in there is the shifter. There's a flat spot on the ball. This part pushes against it with this spring, and that's what returns it to center. So if your shifter is not returning to center, take this apart, clean it up, grease it, and that should fix your shifter. What that should do is allow us to undo now these 3mm Allens you see at the bottom, and then the shifter will come right out. So next is try to get this out, and it just falls right out. These are both replaceable plastic bushings. This one's hard to get. I think this one's still pretty readily available. Anyway, so now we got our shifter apart. To fully disassemble it, we need to push this pin out, and then this whole spring system will go away. This spring is for your reverse, so you can shove the shifter down to get it into reverse. So we're going to see if we can continue to disassemble this. Okay, for this part I just simply put the shifter into a vise, and like I said, there's a pin in here, and the spring kind of needs to be pulled back while you tap the pin out, but I've already just tapped on it a tiny bit with a old drill bit, and it slides right out. Just remember, to get it back in, you're gonna have to hold the whole thing up while you tap it. Alright, so in the vise I was able to pull this cap off, push the pin out, and now you can see how everything comes apart. Now taking a look at the shaft again, I kind of thought this through. There's really no way that this shaft should break. So this notch, turns out, is not supposed to be here. I don't know if somebody couldn't figure out how to adjust this in the past and they ground the notch down, or maybe it wore. I don't know, but either way, that's probably what led to the shaft breaking. Okay guys, so you may have seen in my other video that I do have a crappy welder, but I am definitely not a welder. However, I can get things to stick together. So I'm going to take this to a professional, and he's going to weld it up. In the meantime, I'm going to align it so I don't have to worry about it getting it back from the welder and having it not exactly where I want. So I know where it was before, and what I've also done is tapered it so he has a nice place to make a good bead all the way around. And so anyway, so we can get it aligned. I'm gonna go and try to tack these two together. Okay, so I have set the alignment. I put 2 tiny tacks on there, and I'm going to take this to the welder now that I'm happy that it is exactly the position it was before. All right guys, welcome back. It's day 3, and I originally looked at buying a new shifter for the Ferrari, and like I said, it's about $1,000 and take a couple weeks to get here. Used one, there's none for sale right now, at a couple leads, but they wanted to sell only with the shifter box. So just to get the car going, I was like, I'll just get it welded. But it actually turned out so good that I'm probably just going to keep it this way. I took it to a professional welder, and he says he's x-ray certified or whatever. I think he used a TIG, and he welded it back together, and he guaranteed that I will not break it again. And so I might just keep it. So what we're going to do is polish it a little bit, because as you can see, it's polished here and not so much here. So we're going to polish it and then put it back in the car. All right, so now it's time to reassemble. So obviously the shifter housing, there is the main shaft goes in here. There are 2 metal bushings inside here, and these can get worn out. Mine were not worn out. What you can do is, when this goes in there, if there's a lot of side-to-side play, you probably need to redo those brass bushings. These ones are good, so all we're going to do, I'm going to put a lot of grease in there, and then we should be pretty good. So I'm actually using the Valvoline red and tacky stuff. I found that this stuff just seems to stick on there longer, not kind of ooze around. Okay, so now we've put grease inside there. I put a little on the shaft. You can kind of let the excess wear off. This is all going to kind of get moved around. And since there is a dust shield that goes over all this, if there's any excess grease, that's okay. It's not going to get covered in dirt just simply because it's you know, protected. So that's in there. So next step is to assemble the shifter. So we've got our shifter here. I'm just going to go ahead and put a little bit of grease on there. If you remember, we need to go put the spring assembly for the reverse back on. So there's a ball on this. It goes facing up. And then we're simply going to push down and it'll slide right through. So that is the installed thing. So the pin is in the center there. And now this whole assembly is ready to go. Well, actually, one more thing. We need to put this ball in here. And it just kind of snaps in place. Once again, put some nice thick grease in there. Make sure it's all worked around. You should be able to just kind of jam this in there. Boom. That's it. So I always like to put plenty of grease on there, and then when you're done, wipe off what you think is excessive after you get it in place. Insert this in here and make sure this gray part goes into that shaft. And so let's orientate it so I can know what I'm doing here. And that's it. So now we've got it in here. Now we're ready to tighten the hex nuts. Careful, you are squishing plastic in there, so make sure you don't tighten them too much. Just what you would any 1/4 inch bolt. The end result should be a very smooth moving shifter that's well lubed. So now it's time to do the spring. And we might need the vise for this because we got to squish that spring down and put in the retaining nut. So here is whatever you want to call it. This is the flat part that pushes against that other flat part. So once again, nice layer of grease on it. Just going to slide it in there. Okay. And then the spring. Doesn't need too much on this. It's not really doing a whole lot. Just make sure it's lubed up. Stick it in the hole. Now you can see we got a lot to compress here. So we have the flat plate that's going to go on top, and then the snap ring. So I'm going to use the vise to squish that in. So I've used a small nut to push that spring down. We're going to slide the snap ring over it. Spin it around and then use our snap ring pliers to put it into place. And there we go. We got the snap ring installed. And so that spring is now pressing against that flat spot to always bring this back to center. So now our next step is to put on the rubber plate and of course the linkage. Now we put the rebuilt shifter back into the car. So just slide it up here. Move the shaft out of the way. Put our rubber bushings. There we go. Boom. Insert all the rubber bushings everywhere. Alright guys, so shifter is back in the car. We're going to go put together the interior, and hopefully we don't need to adjust the shifter. Maybe someday I'll make a video on how to do that, but then we can put the bottom panels back on, and then we're going to take it for a test drive. Shifter's in place, guys. So now we're gonna install the reverse sensor and then put the interior back together. Literally there is 4 Phillips heads that hold all this stuff in, so it shouldn't be too hard. So let's get started on that. Screw this in. Reverse switch is in place, and now we got to put our shifter gasket in. These things are no longer available. Mine broke, and I bought this one a little less than a year ago to replace it. And when I took it out this time, it was completely disintegrated. So whatever Ferrari made these out of, it self-destructs. So I literally super glued this back together and used epoxy to kind of reinforce it. They're 12 millimeters thick if you want to try to cut your own. The other thing is I just sent off the dimensions to a friend who's going to start 3D printing these. So when they're available, I'll post it in the description, and hopefully we'll be able to start using these again since they pretty much are common to just fall apart. So anyway, let's go ahead and get that on. Okay, so now we got the shifter plate and everything installed, and you can see that it didn't mess with our alignment at all, which is kind of cool. So now we need to get the shifter ball on there. So we're going to use this 17 millimeter lock nut. Screw it pretty much most of the way down. Okay. Now take our shifter ball, screw it on there. Okay. We're going to be pretty close as it is. Now take this, and while holding the ball in place where you like it, tighten the nut. That should be good. Okay, we fixed our car, so we just need to put this back into place and then take it for a test drive. That is perfect. Love it. Now in slow dramatic form, here is our repaired shifter. I'm actually pretty excited. I was thinking that I'd be able to see some welding marks or whatever, but this thing looks exactly like it should. There are no welding marks or anything like that. It literally looks perfect, and minus the notch that we had before, it fits between the gates perfectly, and the guy said it's stronger, so let's go out and give it a try. All right, guys, so we fixed the shifters back in the car, got it warmed up, and it works great. All right, guys, just got back from a successful test drive, and I could not be any happier. The shifter works great. The weld looks perfect. You can't even tell that it was welded, and I'm sure that now we don't have that notch there. It's going to be a lot stronger. So total cost was $80, and I think that might be even good enough for a corny, that's how you exotic car DIY. But if you don't want me to ever say that again, and I don't want to say it again, do me a favor, hit like and subscribe, and I promise I won't ever say that line again. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys.